Hello and welcome back to MoonClan. My name is Frosty and today we are picking up directly where we left off last time, heading into Moon 69 for the clan and 68 for Frost Whisper. Not too much happened last time, honestly. We collected an absurd amount of prey, and Frost Whisper was healing from a mangled leg he got on patrol. So honestly, that's really been about it outside of some continued pressure within the clan. Frost Whisper just really is not making a lot of friends right now. Not sure if that has anything to do with Snowleaf's influence since we have been getting closer to him. But in general, we've kind of grown apart from some of our family and especially our nieces and nephews, which is really sad. But sometimes that's just how things are. Blood of the battlefield is sicker than the water of the womb and all of that. So, honestly, without too much to catch up on, without any further ado, let's just go ahead and jump straight into Moon 69 for the clan. Nice, and see what's going on here. Okay. MoonClan does not have enough healthy medicine cats. Cats will be sick, hurt for longer, and have a higher chance of dying. I'm really nervous about that, especially with that third tablet up, but fingers crossed it's just like a sprain or we had an unexpected litter or something like that that is causing our numbers to be out of whack. Frost Whisper's running nose has finally stopped running. I envy him that. My nose is always going, in case you can't tell by my sinuses always being raspy. During a fierce storm, you help evacuate the elders to a safer location. Our bravery and quick thinking earn us the respect of the clan. Our vigilance during a night watch leads to an early detection of a badger threat. Our quick action saves the clan. A fishing expedition goes awry when a fish nips at your tail. You retreat with a laugh, promising revenge on a slippery enemy. We lose a friendly spar to a fellow clanmate. The defeat is humbling, but you learn valuable lessons. During a thunderstorm, we reassure the terrified kits, and their calm mewling soothes our own fears. Okay, a lot happened going into Leaf Bear here. I'm definitely very nervous about that first prompt, but Frost Whisper has been proving time and again that he does have the respect of his clan and he is a renowned warrior, and can be very gentle with the young ones, which is good to see when we're constantly insulting them because of various transgressions. So let's go ahead and hop over to ceremonies and see maybe what's going on here. Icy Paw's advice has helped many cats throughout their days as an apprentice. Even Yarosar has sought them out sometimes. Yarosar has no doubts in their mind that Icy Paw is ready to be a warrior and names them Icy Fin, honoring their steadfastness. I'm a little surprised Icy was promoted over Scorchpaw. Scorch just seemed to be having a better time of it, but hopefully that allows some reflection and that we are hopefully prioritizing wisdom and calm over fierceness and rashness. Oh no. Swanspot woke up in the middle of the night to a strange noise. No one else was awake, or so they thought, until seeing someone at the fresh kill pile. Before Swanspot could realize their mistake, sharp canine teeth were at their throat, ensuring the clan wakes up to find their nest empty and the prey gone. All of the prey? Okay. It was only half of the prey when you have 500 pieces of prey, that could have been a lot worse. But still, I'm really sad that it was Swanspot. I had some bad feelings when I saw that lit up, just because Swanspot was getting older. I'm just sad they could have had a more peaceful, end to their days, because they've really done a lot for the clan and they were our parent. I was hoping that they would get to live out to a nice golden age and then go peacefully in their sleep, but that was not a merciful end. The past moon, Chestnut Pelt and Swanspot have taken their place in StarClan. The clan mourns their loss and shares stories about the time that they had. Frost Whisper doesn't think Shimmerkick has been completely honest lately. Ooh, hopefully we're starting to get some vibes about Shimmerkick, because they did kill Fluffroar. Frost Whisperer perused upon Shock's recent efforts. Palefur is always happy to be around us, and Poppy Paw, I keep calling her Poppy Paw. Poppy Eye, us, and Rabbit Paw have a nice talk while eating. Okay. I mean, for once, we're not having any egregious arguments with somebody innocent. We are actively sussing out the actual murderer here, or at least one of them. I wonder if that is also maybe why we've been a bit more abrasive lately, is we are trying to figure out who the murderer is, since it was Greenfin all those moons ago that got murdered. Makes sense that Frost Whisperer would want to try and find the culprit since he really liked Greenfin. Okay, Snowy's broken bone is healed, but the injury left them scarred. I'd rather scarred than even just having weaker legs, so not too bad there. Golsat's white cough is gone. Needledew's stomachache has left. Freezing temperatures have not just affected the cats, but it's also frostbitten the stored herbs. They are useless now, will have to be replaced. We just started to actually get them back. And Frost Whisperer's running nose has finally stopped running. So this moon, not only have we lost our prey, but we have lost our herbs, or at least part of our prey. Honestly, that's pretty devastating going into Leaf Bear. I mean, I think we'll still be fine in terms of food, but the herb stores are kind of devastating because we have been struggling to build those up the past few moons anyway. We'll just have to hope that, I was gonna say both of our medicine cats can actually find something each patrol, but no, we're now down to just Hill Petal. I would scream. Okay, so under our miscellaneous, Swanspot's news again. Scorchpaw believes they're part of a new prophecy, and Icyfin is outright caught breaking the warrior code. So much for trying to exemplify good traits there. Now I have to look up and see what actually happens when a full warrior breaks the code. Okay, so rules: keep track of when a cat breaks the code and determine the consequences based on our leader's personality and their relationship. A bloodthirsty Dark Forest aligned leader might look the other way in a good relationship with the rule breaker, or they could punish them harshly. Okay, so I guess we'll see. I mean, like, theoretically, this could be a number of strikes, so if they have a bad relationship and we have, like, a good rule-following leader sort of a thing, then it's like a full 3 strikes and they're out in one go. If they have a good relationship, maybe you can reduce that down to 2 strikes, that sort of a thing. So it can be kind of like a progressive system. So let's see here. Before we even do that much though, let's check out Icyfin, who is our newest warrior. He's currently slipping out of camp to visit Chestnut Pelt's grave. Wise, a polymath with unnatural senses. They were mentored by Needledew, who influenced them to be more likely to refrain from socializing, make their own rules, and use teeth and claws over words. Needledew helped them become better at learning new things and noticing small details. When they graduated, they were honored for their steadfastness, graduating at 11 moons old. Okay, I honestly don't think Icyfin's relationship to Yarosar is going to be very, like, meaningful. It's going to be explicitly how Yarosar views them. Let's see if Icyfin is even on their radar. Nope. Not even a little bit. They are meek though, so I don't think that they'd be so super, like, inclined. Like, those of righteous leaders say, I think they'd just be out. I don't think they'd be that immediately harsh. So, let's go ahead and check out Icyfin then. Don't think they have any strikes, no. I think this is going to be 2 strikes, so they're going to be walking really, really thin ice from now on. But I think that's a bit more fair than just outright throwing them out. For a meek leader, that seems a little out of place. And with how young they are, I don't think it makes sense to that directly punish them for breaking the code. It's also very possible that it was, Icy Paw who broke the code, in which case, then they wouldn't have had any punishment at all. But it did say Icy Finn, so I'm going to give them a punishment, and I don't think just one strike does it, so... Okay, strikes 1 and 2, this moon for breaking the code. Okay, going on to Yarosar though. They are wishing to be all-knowing like StarClan. Coldshriek is pondering how their decision will impact the clan in the long term. I wonder what exactly that could be entailing though, because Coldshriek has killed cats before, so that's obviously going to have a long-term impact on the clan. But I also wonder if this is kind of alluding to that sort of conspiracy I think they are forming. Hillpell is refusing to give another clan's medicine cat some herbs. Well, we don't have any. So that seems like a wise decision in my book. How many cats can we actually care for? Hillpetal can only care for 14 other cats in the clan, and obviously we're like 4 times that many now. So we're gonna need another medicine cat ASAP. This is gonna be a really harsh leaf bear. We're currently telling a fawn story at Swanspot's vigil. I think us and all of our siblings had a kind of love-hate relationship with Swanspot, so I think just telling the story is a very kind of fitting way to mourn her. Weaselreed helped bury Swanspot, leaving their favorite prey at the grave. And Ravensong also told a fawn story at Swanspot's vigil. So yeah, it's always weird when you have that kind of love-hate relationship with somebody and then they're gone. Can be a lot of confusing emotions, so it feels appropriate that everybody is taking their time to appropriately grieve. Snowleaf is currently giving some advice to Coldshriek, speaking of them always talking. I know that they're brothers, but just their general overall negativity makes me see something else happening here. Falcon Scratch is feeling gloomy. Makes sense for wintertime and loss of cat time. Fonshack is wanting to critique Needledew's fighting techniques. We are talking to her again. I keep reliving that moment when I made a fool of myself at the last gathering. Do you think the other clans are still laughing at me? Probably not. We reassure Fonshack that no one probably remembers. Oh, you think so? I guess that's a little reassuring. I'm glad we're kind of repairing some of this relationship. Chirpback is in awe of Yarosar's leadership. I do think in general the clan really has accepted Yarosar a lot better than they ever accepted Zonestar. And that does surprise me a little bit just because Yarosar's leadership was immediately paired with so much tragedy. Whereas Zonestar, everyone was just like, you haven't done anything, but I still kind of hate you. Shimmerkick is grooming themselves thoughtfully. We are insulting them. I'd be more offended if I respected your opinion. You know what? I guess fair enough. Palefur is complaining about being sent on Dawn Patrol. We are talking to him. It's been a while. Oh, Frost Whisper. I wasn't expecting to see you today. How are you feeling? Would you like to share this prey with me? I don't mind. You've worked really hard lately and you deserve it. Here, you can sit next to me. Now tell me, how was your day? I feel like part of that is just, general, like, hey, genuine, let's catch up, and part of it is also probably just some concern about how we're faring with Swanspot's passing. Hoppy Eye is feeling unappreciated, and luckily we're not going to kick her while she's down right now. Hey, don't think I didn't see you bring down that catch earlier today. Nice work. We should totally hunt together sometime. Maybe the world is healing. Scorchpaw is mourning Chestnut Pelt too. I mean, really, it's just been them and Icy Finn, which is kind of sad. I mean, a lot of cats obviously knew Swanspot in more detail and for longer, but I feel like Chestnut Pelt was just kind of immediately forgotten by anybody but her kids. Rabbit Paw is currently gossiping. we are talking with her. Prey is scarce. I'll have to double down and only take what we need for the sake of MoonClan. Yeah, I definitely feel like Rabbit Paw is putting too much pressure on herself to be mature and capable beyond her years. Moonfern is thinking of ways to comfort a kit who had troubling dreams, and Charred Rumble is sad they couldn't spend time with Chestnut Pelt. Okay, I'm glad that somebody else is at least acknowledging Chestnut Pelt existed. Yeah, River? Are you gonna tell the people what you're thinking? What's River thinking? Okay, I guess River's gonna be joining me. Hopefully not knocking over the microphone, but we will see. She might be making some fun noises or hitting it, so sorry in advance if that happens. Let's go ahead and do some patrols. We find a particularly smooth stone near the river that reminds us of a cat we're fond of. We think they might like it as a gift. Well, since we are crushing so hard in Snowleaf, let's try and get it for them. We offer them the stone and they seem genuinely touched by our thoughtfulness. Their appreciation makes us feel warm and happy inside. Okay, Hill Petal, you cannot get hurt or anything this moon. The cold of Leaf Bear might have killed off a lot of greenery, but Hill Petal knows that dandelions are only playing dead. If they can get their paws on a plant, they can still use the sap. Okay. That is totally fine. River has departed. Let's try and get this. I'm just concerned that he's gonna hurt himself and then we're gonna be completely out of luck. Okay, well, they get a little wet and chilled, but they do not get explicitly hurt. Unfortunately, we don't find anything either. Weasel Reed suggests it could be a good chance for the cats to practice teamwork, particularly with Rabbit Paw. I feel like that's a slight nig at her. Rabbit Paw screws up the teamwork exercise, making a decision that betrays their lack of experience. While Weasel Reed smooths everything over between everyone, the exercise is concluded early. Okay, our first hunting patrol is a little bit bigger than usual, but I was just feeling a little bit nervous with Icy Fin there. We do bring back a medium amount of prey though. Honestly, in some ways, it might actually be kind of a good thing that we got our prey reduced so much. A, that was a lot of excess prey, and B, that would have just made me feel bad that we couldn't accept any loners these moons because, I mean, it's wintertime, so we're not going to be accepting outsiders. It kind of gives us an excuse to go on some more hunting missions during wintertime when things are a bit calmer anyway, and help to recoup some of that loss. In our patrol, which is hunting this moon, we head out to the forest to hunt. Fierceface suggests a good sheltered gully. It's a little far from camp, and the walk will be chilly, but the hunting around there is good, especially for mice. As we arrive, the patrol startles two, and Fierceface manages to react quick enough with an inelegant pounce to kill one. It's a good omen for the rest of the morning's work, which proves to be productive and satisfying. We bring back a medium amount of prey. So yeah, now we're already back above 300. Okay, this is probably gonna be the only time of year sending out 4 all-white cats hunting is going to be a very good idea. But we hear distant howling and wonder whether to investigate the noise. Unfortunately, with our traits, we're not really very likely to turn around. I feel like the vengeful and troublesome cats would push on ahead and the trusting cat would follow accordingly. We track the noise and discover a wolf eating from its kill. It's a predator we cannot fight and there may be more nearby. We return to camp and report the intruder to the leader. Perhaps they can return later to take whatever is left behind. Looks like we don't get anything though. Coltrick sees 2 kids from Clay Clan playing close to the border. Obviously we're not antagonizing. We order the patrol to go back to camp, asking that Palefur be left behind to help. They go up to the little kids and convince them that they're going to give them the best badger ride ever. And as they approach Clay Clan's camp, the kids squealing with joy on their back, they are greeted with relief and laughter. Coltrick definitely does seem to have a lot of charisma at least. And unfortunately, we do get a potential recruitment in this moon. We cannot accept the cat and leaf bear. So we're just not going to proceed. The Arsar callously deciding it's none of their business and resuming patrol. In all fairness, we do not really have the resources to medically care for a cat right now anyway. In some ways, it does make a lot of sense. But it doesn't make it feel any better. And with that, though, we are going to go ahead and dive into Moon 70 for the clan. We still do not have enough healthy medicine cats. Of course, there's no way we wouldn't at this point. A tree cut monster appears near the border. Fear prickles our fur, but we stay alert to warn the clan. Oh, we've got a lot of possible interactions this moon. Frost Whisper comes up with a plan to sneak out of camp with Light Pelt. We're having a wonderful time discussing recent clan news with Mosscomb. Needledew thinks that we're really funny. Chirpback chats with us while grabbing something to eat. Poppy Eyes started a huge argument between us and Needledew, though. Aw, that stinks. Needledew has gotten white cough, and Palefur has also gotten white cough. That is really scary and Leaf Bear. That is infectious. And obviously we have so much working against us with the medicine cats, being we don't have enough and we have no herbs. So there's nothing to try and minimize some of this spread. Little Heart seems to have jay feathers stuck in their fur. That seems really cute. We'll go ahead and have that in. I think it's a really complimentary look too. Okay, it looks like we do have some cats that are a little bit more grown up, so we'll check them out. First up and foremost, we have Icy Finn, who's currently sparring with some clanmates. He's sincere, a polymath with unnatural senses. It seems that's going to be his kind of more permanent traits, none of which are bad at all. I really do like the flowers with him. It really complements the cream of his pelt. Just very interesting to see them kind of scattered so haphazardly. And then here's Scorchpaw. Saw a two-leg kit playing with a kitty pet. He's still fierce, a mossball hunter, and never sits still. He's very close to graduation too. Yarosar is currently practicing their speech in the reflection of the lake. That's probably not a bad thing. That honestly probably, if anything, has been helping him, because it will allow him to at least present a front of confidence to the clan, and I think that has been a major contributing factor in their respect of him. Honestly, I've been pretty pleasantly surprised with how well Yarosar is doing despite his youth and lack of experience. Coldshriek is reflecting on a past lesson to make a crucial decision. Hillpetal is giving some advice to Blossom Current. And we still don't have any herbs. They will sometimes gather something in the log here, but no such luck. It is Leaf Bear. Frost Whisper is trying to set a good example for younger cats. Weasel Reed is playing a prank on Comfreyfoot. Ravensong is also trying to set a good example. Snowleaf is definitely plotting something. Okay, I swear, I've really wanted to ship him and Frost because Frost does not get very many crushes. But I don't know how I can ship this in good faith. He definitely has something going on. Needledew is fixing a leak in the den using a large ball of moss. Unfortunately, because I did argue with her, and a negative does outweigh a mild positive, we are going to be insulting this moon. Whatever, stay mad about it because I sure won't. I'll forget you even talked to me in like 2 seconds. I'm sorry, Needledew. I was really hoping we could have, mended some of that rift. Chirpback has been taking on extra patrols lately. We are talking to him. Chirpback immediately rushes to guard the camp entrance after hearing word of a fox roaming about the territory, glaring at every leaf, tree, and bush that so much as rustles in the wind. I mean, I also think he's been taking on too much. That's just my thought on him. But I think we also appreciate his can-do attitude. Light Pelt is wanting to critique Poppy Eye's fighting techniques. We are talking to him too. My pelt stretches out blissfully in a sunbeam. In the middle of the clearing, where the rest of the clan has to avoid tripping over them. Not the most considerate cat, are they? I'm sure everybody is appreciating a little bit of warmth in the midst of winter, though. Moscone is sad they couldn't spend more time with Chestnut Pelt. We are talking with him. I do find it a little weird we're getting this prompt now instead of last moon, but so be it. Hey Frost Whisper, how do you think these feathers look in my fur? I'll have to ask Moonfern about it. We comment on how Moscone seems to really value Moonfern's opinion. Oh, well, yeah, of course. Moonfern is my parent. They taught me practically everything I know. If there's anyone's opinion I really value, it's theirs. I mean, it makes sense, especially when your mom is a queen, you probably get really doted on. So it definitely makes sense that they would really value Moonfern's opinion because they have a lot more opportunity to be close. Since, most warrior mothers will go back to their duties after only 2 months. Rabbit Paw is currently playing a prank on Charred Rumble. Moonfern is wondering about the destinies that await kits outside the nursery. And Charred Rumble is understanding the significance of early clan teachings for kits. The nursery is sadly barren, but, in these times, it is probably for the better. Minus the fact we don't really have a medicine cat to grow up into the role yet. So that's kind of my current predicament, is obviously I don't want to leave the clan without a medicine cat forever, really any length of time. But there aren't really any cats that are on my radar to promote over. A lot of the ones I would, I can't because they're ineligible. They've got a mate, they've already been a medicine cat and failed. There just aren't that many choices left to me. And we don't even have a kit that will kind of automatically grow into the role either. So we're really stuck in a catch-22 here. I think eventually we will promote a cat over Sideways. Honestly, Blue Shade is a potential candidate. But I do want to see how at least the winter time shakes out and maybe promote somebody over into New Leaf. Honestly, it'll be so much time between my recording this and editing this and recording that I might forget. But that's my current plan. It could change between this episode and next, though. A queen asks us to watch over her kits while she hunts. It's our chance to share stories and keep the young ones entertained, if only. We entertain the non-existent kits, and they prove more energetic than we expected. We end up losing them after we spend a moment with our back turned. The tired queen spends the rest of the afternoon looking for them and finds them playing in the leader's den. I don't even know what we could substitute that for, honestly. There just isn't that much that I can think of that would be comparable to something like that. Maybe a hunting thing, I don't know. It's almost dawn when a deputy rouses Rabbit Paw for their assessment. They are meant to find Moscone posing as an enemy warrior somewhere in the territory and handle the situation. Moscone could be anywhere. I've never seen an apprentice succeed here. I'm curious to try. So let's go ahead and proceed. Sluggishly, Rabbit Paw heads out into the territory to find Moscone. By the time the sun starts to set, they are about to lose hope. However, they spot Moscone nibbling on a pigeon's wing. Imagining an enemy warrior, Rabbit Paw attacks Moscone and catches them off guard. After a brief tussle, Moscone admits defeat and guides Rabbit Paw home. Okay, Rabbit Paw has succeeded where no other apprentice has yet. Hillpaw does manage to gather some moss. Not the most helpful thing, but a very basic necessity. Our patrol hears howling and wonders whether to investigate the noise. With the traits that we have, I think we'll be okay to not try this out. Yeah, we'll be good to not, so let's not. We go out patrolling and catch a scent of a fox, but is it red or gray? Tracking it, we find a stocky gray fox feeding on a deer carcass, either a small doe or one of last newly spawns. A gray fox could never take on prey this size. I must have found it, and now we have too. Well, with 4 cats, I think we can take on a fox, never mind a gray one. And that's a lot of potential meat for us. We launch into battle, keeping the fox on the defensive with teamwork. In an act of daring bravery, Lyra starts low to the ground, gets under the jaws, and sinks her teeth into the fox's throat. Holding on grimly, Lyra's daring move gives the rest of the patrol the opportunity they need to bring the fox down for good. Well, that's one way to handle the situation. Lyra has really been pushing themselves to the forefront lately with some risky battle maneuvers, so she's definitely a pretty skilled warrior. And we bring back a large amount of prey. We're now 345, so we're slowly recouping that really big gap there. While on our border patrol, Gulsap notices some suspicious paw prints in the mud beneath the canopy. Boldly, Fierceface follows the paw prints to a trespassing rogue and confronts them. Fur puffed up and scowling, the patrol demands the rogue leave. Intimidated, they do without a fight. As Pigeon Fleck leads the patrol through the snow-covered forest, the sound of a bird call gives them pause. Up ahead is an entire flock of songbirds pecking at a patch of exposed ground. With the flick of their tail, Pigeon Fleck directs their clanmates into a silent ring of hunters surrounding the oblivious birds. When the time is right, the cats ring in unison, catching half the flock. Despite our success, that's only a small amount of prey, but that's a pretty cool interaction. Okay, there's not much for the rest of the patrols there, honestly, just more badgers, so let's go ahead and jump into our last moon. MoonClan does not have enough healthy medicine cats. Yep, still the same there. A fierce battle leaves us injured. Licking our wounds, we reflect on the cost of conflict. Danger lurks near camp. With a low growl, we alert our clanmates ready to protect our home. We help prepare for a major battle. Tension in camp is palpable, but we focus on our training. That's a lot of conflict, more now than ever. I don't see any mentions about us being explicitly at war, so there's a lot of tabs lit up right now. So I wonder if some clans are just really pushing back on us because of hunger and leaf bear. We do have kind of an excess right now after all. Yarsar rests their muzzle on Scorch Runner's head and declares them to be a full warrior of MoonClan, honoring their wit. I think I like Scorch Runner as a name. Oh, rumors reach our clan. Exiled Stonefruit has recently passed away. Okay, so maybe he did trade in all of his lives. Since he was, granted so many to begin with. I don't think he deserves to be wandering in the place in between, so we're going to go ahead and send him on into StarClan. Unfortunately, that means it's kind of a bypass into the Dark Forest, but, as long as he gets there eventually, I think that's where he belongs. Okay, Frost Whisper wants to spend the entire day with Needledew. Frost Whisper sees Moscone's piece of prey looks tastier and asks if they'd like to swap. They agree happily, saying they like that one better. Fierceface and Frost Whisper joke about how bad the other clans smell. Alright, so for once we have an all-positive moon. Granted, not many interactions, but we won't be choosy. Blossom Current's Magle Lake has healed up, as had Poppy Eye's claw wound. That is actually kind of pleasantly surprising, since we had no herbs to help them with. The BlitzClan Medicine Cat comes asking if we have herbs to spare, but our stocks are bare and we are unable to provide any help. I mean, if anything, we should probably be asking them for some help right now. Gulsap was seen racing along the border with a rival from BlitzClan. Weaselry was seen playing with a kitty pet over the border. Blueshave was seen chasing a kitty pet off the territory. Chirpback and Ravensong find a worm in camp on a rainy day, and Chirpback decides to keep it. So let's go ahead and give Chirpback their worm real quick. Oh my god, they're wearing it like a bow. I don't know how to feel about that one. But unfortunately, we do have some strikes to be giving out. Surprisingly, this is actually Weaselreed's first. Okay, so Weaselreed gets their first strike, Moon 71, for playing with a kitty pet. And goal sap, like I said a million times before now, I don't really view this as being like the worst transgression. I'm just gonna give them the strike anyway because that keeps things interesting. And we get strike 1, Moon 71 for racing with a rival. This is why I record the specific reason though, in case I decide later that we're being too harsh, we can always kind of retroactively remove something perhaps. But let's go ahead and check out Scorch Runner now. They got startled by a squirrel. They grew to be fierce, fast as the wind, and a renowned hunter. So honestly, a pretty fitting name at the end of the day. They were mentored by a Weasel Reed who influenced them to be more likely to follow rules, try to avoid violence, have a positive outlook, and refrain from socializing. Weasel Reed helped them become better at hunting, and when they graduated, they were honored for their wit, graduating at 13 moons old. Okay, not too bad, even if we are getting startled by a squirrel as a fierce cat. Let's see how everyone else is doing. Yarosar saw a pair of two legs near camp today. It seems to be happening more and more. Cold Shriek is napping, so I guess we'll actually go ahead and talk to them because they're sleeping. Cold Shriek gazes up at Yarosar atop the leader's den with an unreadable expression on their face. With any luck, they'll one day take over the position for themselves. Can't even imagine how that must feel. Feel like that's a little too neutral for Cold Shriek. Hill Petal is feeling nervous. Not surprising at all because he's still so new to healing and has no herbs to help him with. I would be feeling nervous too with sick cats in the den. Blue Shade is giving some advice to Moscow. I do think I am going to actually switch him over to being a medicine cat. He seems the most likely for the job. He is flexible, so maybe he can kind of learn to adjust to the new role quickly. He's not got the most experience, but I don't think that will be too big of a hamper for him. He can at least kind of follow Hill Petal and go where he's pointed, so to speak. And he doesn't have super deep connections to the rest of the clan quite yet, at least not from my observations. So this can both help himself to integrate into the clan, and also we hopefully won't have to deal with the mate and kit drama very quickly with him that way. Okay. And with that, we can care for up to 32 members of the clan. So sadly, we're still a little bit short, but that should at least help. We're currently spending a considerable amount of time grooming. We're probably trying to impress Snowleaf, let's be honest there. I didn't really focus on this when we were checking out Golsap earlier to give her a strike, but she's currently gnawing on a small bone busily. She's still got that childish trait and a philosopher ability. I mean, I honestly don't feel like we've seen a whole lot of her. We don't interact with her very often, and a lot of what we see with her kind of comes through other cats, like with Pigeon Flick. But she seems to be just kind of quietly there doing her thing, or at least in other circles to us, so it's always good to check in. Needledew is currently gathering a few seeds in a pile in the territory to try to attract prey. We are going to talk to her. What's that? One of the kids told you your ears are too big? What a load of fox dung. Those kids don't have any functioning brains. Besides, I like your ears. I think it's cute how big they are. Not cute in that way, mind you, just, you know, The blush on Needledew's cheeks confirmed that yes, they did mean it in that way, and they're doing a terrible job of hiding it. Oh, that is quite a crush they have suddenly formed for us. And do we reciprocate that at all? Oh, we do. I am immediately rooting for that so much more than I was ever rooting for Snowleaf. Even though they're troublesome, I think that would make just such a better choice. We're not compatible or anything, but still, I'm rooting for this one. I'm not rooting for the other one. Moscona's wondering if they're good enough. We've also been interacting with him quite a bit more lately. Again, I think we could maybe be bonding over his dreamwalking abilities. So that's definitely a possible contributing factor there. But we are talking to him again this moon. Moscow avoids stepping around every puddle in camp after a rain. Confused by the ritual, we ask why. If I'm being honest, I can't stand the look of my own reflection, heh. Plus, it's no good getting my paws wet either. Let's just lift them up. Let's not say how sad it is. Huh? Beautiful? Me? You really mean that? I don't know what to say. Thank you. Yes. Self-worth is important. Fierce Face is wanting to compliment Pigeon Flick's fighting technique, and we are talking to him too. Fierce Face is up before first light, looking bleary-eyed and absolutely miserable. I'm going to kill Cold Shriek, like actually I'm not even joking. Looks like all their moons of weaseling out of morning patrols have finally caught up to them. I don't even know if I would want Cold Shriek to be actually murdered by Fierce Face or not. A little sad that that's kind of where we're at right now. Because ultimately that means our amount of murderers in the clan would be exactly net neutral. Rabbit Paw is wanting to become a fierce warrior someday. It looks like her trait has changed to Oblivious, which is maybe better than Vengeful. It kind of achieves the same effect in the clan if she retains that on patrol, so. Moonfern is mulling over the herbs that could benefit the kids during the cold season. I guess she could be a possible consideration for Medicine Cat, but I don't really think it makes sense for her. I think she excels as a queen, even though there's no kits for her to care for right now. If we switched her over, I think it would literally just be as a quote-unquote nurse helper sort of a thing. I don't think it would actually be for an actual Medicine Cat in any way. Charred Rumble is assisting a queen with particularly mischievous kits that, again, do not exist. Let's do our patrol, though. During a patrol, we spot a strange wooden path that's slightly elevated with some birds on it. We leap onto the path, snagging a bird with our claws, and our clanmates are impressed with our catch. I wonder if that means a fence? After all, what to us is a way too narrow ledge is practically a freeway for cats. Hill Petal once again sets off for that elusive dandelion and returns without anything. While Rabbit Paw and Mosscone are out walking, Rabbit Paw seems preoccupied. When Mosscone brings their patrol to a halt to ask what's wrong, they reveal they've been having a hard time sleeping. Their dreams are filled with shadows and images. Mosscone listens to Rabbit Paw talk with a deep sense of deja vu in addition to their shock. This sounds like the trouble they had when they were young, plagued by contact with StarClan regardless of whether they wanted it or not. They immediately take Rabbit Paw aside to give them their full attention and support. That's really nice, though, that Mosscone is immediately there for Rabbit Paw. I don't remember if it was Moss or somebody else, but any connection they had to StarClan was pretty immediately tamped down or dismissed. So it's nice that they can kind of break that cycle of doing that to others. Our first hunting patrol brings back a little bit of prey. Okay, so we get a prompt about it starting snowing soon after we've set out. We do have a nervous cat, and since this can result in cats being hurt or even worse than that, we are not going to proceed here. We don't really need the prey anyway. Our next patrol, however, encounters a clearing with a lot of two legs nearby. Unfortunately, we do have to proceed here because of that troublesome and fierce combination. The patrol mostly ignores the two legs, but as they hunt, the cats encounter appealing, delicious-smelling mush in little burrows. Some of the patrol investigates and doors slam down behind them. There's nothing they or the rest of the patrol can do to get them out. Eventually, the two legs notice, and the trapped cats are taken. Shimmer Kick has been lost, and that is actually something to really be glad about because now our murderer, or at least one of them, has been taken away and the clan is a little bit lighter for it. They'll probably find their way back, but maybe in that time we will have realized that exactly what they were, maybe through divine intervention. And then hopefully we just won't let them back. I guess in a perfect world they can go off and be happy with two legs and the clan will, mourn them and it'll be that. We're on patrol with Yarostar when we discuss rumors we've been hearing of a badger denning in a certain part of MoonClan territory. We try to find enough bits of undergrowth in a nearby forest to block the opening to the set, but the area is pretty bare. Before we know it, the tired, thirsty, and returning home with nothing to show for it. You know, it still beats getting beaten up by a badger, which we're kind of obligated to be doing on border patrol. And unfortunately, we also get this prompt again about a house cat begging for their folk to come back. Once again, we're just not going to proceed. Forgot that blue shade was a medicine cat. But they're heading out for some cobwebs, which they do not collect. And their last patrol brings back a medium amount of prey. So hopefully we'll at least be in a slightly better position heading into New Leaf. Once again, probably for the final time, I am probably not going to remember too much of what I've said here because I had to do a ton of pre-recording for some moving that I'm going to be going through. So wish me luck on that. By the time this goes up, I will already be in a new place. So I do appreciate your guys' patience as I am going through this process here. There's been plenty of stuff going on, so as always, feel free to leave comments below for suggestions, and I will take those into account just as soon as I can. But thank you all again, too, so much for watching. Thank you especially to Parental Unit for supporting the channel, as that support is greatly appreciated. Feel free to check out links in the description below for links to my other social media and alternative ways to support me. If you're able and feel so inclined, it's always greatly appreciated. There are some links to my commissions, and they're down below too. I will be taking commissions at this point now, a little bit more reliably, so that is always a good way to also support me and get something back too. But thank you all again so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe, stay happy. I'll see you all then, and bye.